Also, federal government removes VAT on diesel, cooking gas, electric cars, and others. Later on the show, Port Harcourt Refinery misses 7th production rollout deadline. All the details in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. President Bola Tinubu has expressed optimism for Nigeria's future, promising that the end of the tunnel is near for economic challenges. During his address to the nation for Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, Tinubu highlighted the administration's reforms, which have attracted over $30 billion in foreign direct investments and stabilized the foreign exchange market. He also noted that a significant reduction in the country's national debt and emphasized ongoing efforts to alleviate economic hardship. The president further launched a national youth conference aimed at harnessing the creative energies of Nigeria's younger generation for a brighter future. Now, joining us to discuss this is Akin Fatunke, the CEO, chronicler, and associates. Good to have you on the show, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Good evening. It's good to see you once again.
Mr. Tabo, thank you.
And of course, I have a chartered accountant, policy analyst, and I have Olufemi Lawson, Executive Director, Center for Public Accountability, right here in the studio with me as well.
Good evening.
Good to have you on the show.
My pleasure.
All right, Olufemi Lawson, I'm going to start with you. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has urged Nigerians, right, not to allow past mistakes to follow Nigeria into the future as it celebrates its 64th anniversary. Now, can you recall some of the mistakes that has actually put us in the position we're in at the moment?
Thank you. I think majorly, when you look at the statement, I listened to the president, and I think majorly the mistakes of the past can be mostly attributed to leadership. Okay. Leadership in the sense that leaders in the past in this country, not just at federal level, even at other levels of government, have taken steps that have eventually become detrimental, to the country as a whole. In this country, we have had situations where, administrations have taken, loans that were eventually not productive. Eventually, there have been decisions, there have been policies that are not productive. Eventually, in actual fact, there have been, fundamental decisions that have negatively impacted on the progress of the countries by leaders in the past. The current administration must have identified this. For the president, it's about, admitting the fact that there were mistakes in the past. And also as citizens, we may have erred at some point or the other, particularly in our choice of our leaders, because these leaders didn't just emerge from nowhere. They are products of our decisions in some cases. Identifying that there have been mistakes in the past, but like I said, majorly these are mistakes that has to do with policies and decisions that have been taken by previous administrations in this country, which today we are paying for as citizens, even as government. Today, whichever way you want to see it, for me, like I keep saying here, I've never envied anyone who wanted to be president of Nigeria in 2023, because if you look at what whoever was going to be president in May 29, 2023 was going to inherit, even from the immediate past administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, you understand that it was going to be a major challenge. Okay. And this is not because, the country was not wealthy as it should, but because of certain decisions that were taken by previous administrations in the country that have become so counterproductive to the extent that not only has it affected our lives as citizens, but it has also affected even the life of the nation regarding its productivity, regarding its economic prosperity and other areas. So it's a very key point in the president's speech, which I think not only Nigerians should take note of, but also people who are currently working with the president himself. Fantastic.
Now, Akin Fatunke, away from the doom and gloom, and you are a chartered accountant, and I know this particular news might really interest you, as the president was basking in the area of foreign reserves. Nigeria's foreign reserve increased to $37 billion from $33 billion, with a reduced debt service from a service ratio from 97% to 68% after clearing $7 billion forex backlog, and over 20 trillion ways and means. Now, what are the likely gains that might accrue from this significant improvement moving forward?
Yes, Mr. Tabo, thank you very much. In economics, we talk about marginal, so it's a marginal gain. Mr. Tabo, will you, if you found somebody who jumped inside the lagoon and tried to swim from coast to cape, cape to coast, as the case might be, And somehow, somewhat, you naturally would have given up on such a person. Yeah. But somehow, Mr. Taba, God came to that person's rescue and he was able to, so you can be rescued. And that is the way I see, and I call it marginal. I think it's a good start. Okay. In macroeconomics, you call it efficiency in financial management. If you took that scorecard, but it's not enough. Okay. Naturally, it won't be enough. Like the guy that will have drowned. Okay, so it depends on how we're able to rescue. We can come together and then make sure that that goes on. The reason why I say that is basically because we still have quite a number of things surrounding, like the wild ocean. There are sharks, and of course there are turbulent times ahead in terms of our policy choices, which my friend Femi also has highlighted as some of the mistakes or our eating, before banquet, counting a chicken before they are hatched. In other words, I'm saying policy choices in terms of making sure we cut coat according to cloth, in terms of now being people-centric and not just the ruler-centric, and ensuring that, yes, like Mr. President highlighted there. His first statement, I love that first statement. I agree that we have challenges. We are going through bitter challenges. What I need to see, what I want to see is that from Mr. President himself and his presidency, of course, National Assembly, of course, states, all of us coming together to make sure that carry and let's all carry together, and not asking the hoi polloi, to keep on crying while they are groaning, and then a few are still smiling to the bank. I think they are good. They are good points. Don't forget, Mr. Otabo.
Right.
I call it marginal.
Okay.
Don't forget that if you are not careful, thunder is still coming. There's thunderstorms and so many other things that can just swallow this thing if you are not. If you are not sustainable with it and begin to grow it at an acceleration that is wider than what we consume.
All right, thank you very much. Well, of course, we might have to go on a quick break, and when we return, Newsweek continues in a moment. Please do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. This week, the federal government has taken steps to reduce the cost of living by removing value-added tax, VAT,